So obviously you saw that video, jumped around a little bit. You know, trying to put all that stuff in at my job when I don't have any of this stuff there, it makes it difficult. Like, I didn't even have an Allen key to be able to put the drive shaft sensor on. I couldn't put the shock sensor on. I mean, I couldn't do anything really except the G meter. So what we're gonna do today, hopefully I don't get sick of it halfway through this video, is we're gonna figure out a tank for the water, right? It's the whole intercooler system. So my buddy who had this, he's like, keep this thing, I don't care. I have my heat exchanger, and what I think I'm gonna do is, this is just a 2-gallon fuel cell. Ooh. See if I can fit, let's see if I can hold this and place it. See if I can fit this somewhere up in the nose like this. You know, whether it come up higher, I don't know. I don't want to go full out building a custom. See, this would be easier because then I could just have the fitting from there, because the Davis Craig is going to be right here. I can just put the fitting for the Davis Craig right off the front, right into the heat exchanger, and then back out and around and over. So it's gonna get busy here with dash 16 hoses. So I'm thinking something like about here. Obviously I'd have to move the cap to there to fill it, probably put a neck up, move my boost controller, but that's super easy to do. Now this is what I'm thinking with that. I just don't know how to go about mounting any of that yet, or if I need a full 2 gallons. Ed said he doesn't really have an issue with his. His is like, it's a gallon tank, and then whatever the system holds, depending on length of hoses, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know if I'm going to use this yet. I'd really hate to cut up this thing, you know, cut it here and then just use that. But I was going to use that cheap China water box. And when I actually sat down and looked at this thing the other day, I don't know if you can see the welds, but they ground them all down. And yeah, I could go back over and re-weld, put a new weld on this, which I still might do, because I was gonna show you here. You know, it'd be nothing to clean these welds up. Well, that's not a weld, that's a bend. But it would be nothing to clean these welds up and just run a bead over all of them, just so strength. I'm just afraid of strength, you know, this cracking. So I could run a weld over, you know, get a piece of aluminum, make a patch on each side, and I was going to cut this thing here. So I do that with that 3-inch, you know, vent on it. This will hold a little over a gallon. And I have some scrap aluminum here that I can make the back with. I don't know. But right now, while I think about that, one thing that happened to me on my way home the other day was I smelled. Now, anyway, I had a fuel leak, and I narrowed it down to an injector. These are Dave's injectors in the car. This has happened one other time, but I thought it was an O-ring, and then it kind of went away, and then it came back. They're 60 pound, 160 pound. I'm pretty sure they're from Racetronics, but I'm pretty sure they're just rebranded Holleys because they look identical, and like all the part numbers match up. But what happened was, it's leaking fuel from in between here. That's problematic. It was not an O-ring. Oh, got the little filter in it already. O-rings on it. It's cheap. This thing was like $65. But they work. I haven't had an issue with them. Till now, I should say. We got to put one of those in. And of course, it has to be the passenger side. The passenger side sucks because the heater hoses, and that's the side the regulator's on. It just turns into a cluster trying to get to all of this. Now we got to take it back apart. I just had it apart, but obviously I didn't fix the issue. sitting there, taking this apart last time, and I thought maybe my spacers were too long, so I took those all apart, mic'd them, and they were all fine. They're all the right length. I don't even know how these are assembled, you know what I'm saying? These stupid adapters. Oh my god. But this sumbitch, I caught it. After I cleaned everything else up, put it back in, it was leaking in here. Hopefully it's not a problem with these injectors, because then Dave can suck it. Oop, that's the wrong one. Wrong hole! I'm sure we've all heard that once or twice. I really actually don't like this is it's a pretty slick setup with the dual rail all built into one, but after use and after everything, I actually don't like it. I would have rather had two separate rails. This is actually, it becomes a pain in the butt with this. Just think, like, what kills me with this is, since this is garbage, you can't spin this, I bet, maybe not. I had a problem with wiring harness, and maybe it might have been my last injectors, I don't know, but these adapters made it an absolute cluster to do. But we're gonna put this new one in. I'm gonna order a spare too. I'll give you some jisms. I'm gonna order a spare with me, because I don't know how long I could steal these from Dave. He can't use them, because one of the downfalls, I'm probably just going to buy them off him and call it a day. The downfall here with this dual system is you can't have, so he was going to take these back once his car was done and put he's got APHIS 600s or whatever. Oh, you could see how little space you have there, so there's no way you're fitting two fatties. You can only fit a pencil and a fatty. Alright, got that in. I don't see any leaks. Good sign. We are working on the new intercooler system for the green car. This is a heat exchanger they picked up. It had a hose here and a tab welded on. I cut it all off. I probably should have done a better job on this, but it is what it is. I chucked it up in my bandsaw and let it eat. So this is gonna get dash 16s instead. One top and one bottom, and I'm gonna get like a 120 fitting. All right, so I got a Davis Craig pump, and then this is what I'm trying to figure out here to mount in the front end. I was originally just gonna do this and this, but it's gonna be too much. Oh, I might cut this. It doesn't need to be 5-inch. I could get a piece of 3-inch. We can do something of this nature. No, I'm not sticking this whole thing in here. I was gonna like cut it like this, and then weld it back shut and just have this little box in the engine bay, well, in the bumper. This will be the fill, and I'll mount the pump, and I'll have another, I'll have something like this. By the way, I got all these fittings from Monkey Fab. Buddy Mike down there is making some awesome, another 16 fitting. While I'm speaking of that, he came out with, there's another 16 fitting. These really slick, these are all his fittings right here. Really slick stainless, I think they're 304L stainless fittings. So this is a 16. See how big that damn thing is? I wish I had a regular fitting to compare it to. He sent me some 4s, some 6s, some 10s. These are really cool, but you know, it's still a standard 16. Let's see. Oh, I can't compare it to his aluminum, because aluminum are already, you know, that big. But this thing, like a full flow, this thing's nice. I don't have, no. But make sure you jump on monkeyfab.com. Monkeyfab.com? Monkeyfabgarage.com. And support a small business with some badass parts. Like these things are massive. I get all my fittings, like all my fab stuff. You know, these 304 stainless, I think he has 3 through 20. The aluminum, same thing, through 20. And then he has ORB weld bungs. So if you want to make pass-throughs or something like that, you know, you can see the lip to soak up the O-ring. All right, because originally what I was going to do is I got this set up, and this is his fitting as well. I was going to mount it onto the bottom of that pipe, and I was going to weld this ORB fitting in and then just screw that all together like that. But I don't think it's going to work that way, and it makes me kind of nervous about having the weight of this pump on this aluminum fitting. So what I think I'm going to do is I have to order more -16 aluminums, because I think I'm out. I'm going to screw this in. All right, it's going to get, so this is ORB. You just stick an O-ring on there. I'm going to screw this in, tighten it up, and then what I'll do is, I will mount this where it's going to be. I'll radius it, I'll clock it where the fitting's got to be welded, so that when this thing gets tightened, that's where it's sitting. But yep, hopefully, fingers crossed that it works better. It's definitely going to be way lighter. Let's go weld that old tank and pump and see what's going on. Hold on a second. All right, I got a battery for the scale, so we're gonna weigh some of this stuff. 0. Damn. 16.7 pounds for that. All right. So I got a box here. This was the intercooler drain. 17.4. This is miscellaneous tabs and crap that I've been cutting off the car. It still had a factory exhaust hanger in there, but we'll weigh that after. Some of this hose is going to go back in, but it'd probably be like, you know, half of this. One of these hoses would go all the way back in, and then like half of this one would go back in. So I don't have a full weight on this. We're at 17.4. I actually don't know how. Damn, 20.8. $27 pounds with no water. That's a pretty significant amount. All right. Oh, we got this little pile of BS here. What I'll do is I'll stick it in a paint cup. So we'll put the, let's see if it'll even pick up a paint cup. So 050. So half an ounce. Or however many it is. Goes from 050 to 0.1. So we'll hey, that's almost a pound. Take off, you know, the 0.5, 0.05, 0.9. That's almost a pound in there of BS. So we're at 28 pounds minus water. There's still a bulkhead plate in the car. This right here is in the car, in the back. What else? I'm pretty. So let's see. That holds 5 gallons of water. 5 times 8 is what? Another. What's that? Another 60 pounds, right? No, 40 pounds. So you got 40, 50, 67 pounds if that water tank was full, not counting water in the lines. You know, maybe another gallon. Wow. All right, so let's weigh this stuff and with the pump and see what it's going to be here. Let me get this pump out. This pump actually got some weight to it, so take the fittings with us just in case. I don't hear no. This is what we'll do. So it's not. Put all the fittings in it. So I don't hear no BS. All right. There's all the fittings. Now this is going to come off the rear of the car. So you add 40 pounds of water into that, you know, you're at 57 pounds right here with this full of water. That's a lot of weight in the back of the car. That's definitely going to drastically change. We're going to have to scale this car. That's going to drastically, I'm going to take 60 plus pounds out of the back of the car, and we're going to put, let's find right now. So we got this tank unmodified. It's 5.4 with the Davis Craig pump, 8 pounds. So just off that, I'm cutting half the weight of the tank out. And this tank is either I'm going to use this or I'm going to use that one. This is probably going to be lighter than that. So 16.7 to 8.2. And this only holds 2 gallons, but I'm not looking to have that much in there. So a gallon, add another 8 pounds, I'm going to be at the weight of that. Put the heat exchanger on here. This thing don't weigh much. $13.3. So this whole system is lighter than just the ice tank in itself. Wow. Let's see if I can just put, because this is what's probably going to end up back on there. Jesus Christ, 16.75. So this is almost, this is a half a pound, not even a half a, and whatever, 5 ounces, more than just the ice tank that was in the car. Wow. I'm happy. Obviously, this isn't final settings. Like I said, this is probably going to get lighter than that. You know, the hoses might change weight a little bit, but not much. I'm going to do this one more time. Yep. Unreal. Oh, that makes me very, very happy. That means I'm moving in super in the right direction. The car was 3150 to 3170, depending on how much ice was in that tank. That's what it was all dependent on. So I want to be under 3100. I can't go too light. I still got to weigh over 3000. 3000 is the min weight. But if I could be under 3100 this year, I'm also working on taking weight off here, 7 pounds in 2 weeks, trying for another 22, right? 32? Something like that. I'll take another 30 pounds off. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked about that. So let's start. I think I'm going to cut this apart instead of that nice one and just re-weld these edges. So we're going to start cutting this apart. Well, say cheese.
Cheese.
We take a video, see?
Cheese.
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 He's silly. All right, so we've started building our. Do you want to hold the light to show them? We've started
The engine?
building, not the engine, the intercooler.
The engine cooler?
That's right.
Oh, let's fix it!
Yeah, we're gonna fix it. So this is gonna be my water tank here. This is my heat exchanger. I haven't finished building the water tank. I just got a box, as you can see, and mocking it up about yay.
That's
There's
like
a 4-inch tube, a little bit of angle.
That's like lighthead.
That's like lighthead, huh?
That's like starhead.
I obviously have to do more work on that. But right now, the heat exchanger is essentially done. I just made these mounts. Let me see these for a second, bud. So I just made these mounts off my...
Lighthead.
There you go. You see this one better. Off my radiator mount. There you go. So that's tied in. That's not going anywhere. I'm kind of apprehensive about having this drain. So I think I'm going to take this apart and plug it. And I don't know what I'm going to do about this cap.
Whitehead. That is
Like,
whitehead.
I essentially don't need a cap, and I just think it's going to be another leak point. So I might...
Whitehead.
Got a really nice cap on it, though. That was a tight seal. I might cut this off and weld it shut. I don't... You know, it's just another spot for a leak in my eyes. Good Lord. Oh, that's tight. And you know, there's a plug there as well. So it's like 1, 2, 3 possible leaks. And this is water. Dash 16 180. Kid took the light. So how we're gonna do this is, alright, get my old bones down here. The Davis Craig is gonna be mounted to the front of this. It'll feed out into this. This is gonna fill the core, and it's gonna come out here, and this will go down under the frame rail here, back up into the intake, and then there will be a hose that feeds into the back of this tank that comes out the back of the intake.
Use your flashlight.
Yeah, I just think that'll be the easiest hose routing. I'm not a huge fan of this being the fill low, you know, and then this being the drain high. But once this is full, maybe I will leave the cap for a bleed, something. Maybe I'll make a bleeder. I don't know. We'll see. Tell me what you think about that. But I'm trying to locate a 4-inch cap. I put a 4-inch here just so I could add ice if necessary. This is about 1.6 gallons. 1.6 gallons. Hey, turn those back on, please. I don't know how much fluid this is going to hold. You know, maybe a half a gallon. And then all the hoses and the intercooler have 3 gallons in the system-ish. Guesstimating. I'm going to move these boost control solenoids to the front here. You know, instead of being sandwiched against that. Granted, I guess it really doesn't matter. So that's next on the agenda.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes. You're driving me nuts.
No, you're not.
You're driving me nuts.
No, you're not.
So
It's my face.
I'll probably take this fender off here so I can plumb all this easily. You know, it's really not much. It's 3 bolts to pull the fender. No, don't open that. So that's where we're at with this. I gotta think how I gotta do the water tank. I gotta mock up the bumper more. I had to cut the corner of the headlight bucket for the bumper, as you can see, for the 90-degree fitting, and I gotta cut it back a little bit further, but no big deal. Hey, careful. Well, yeah, this is, you know, the grill is right. Hey, careful, don't put that on the fender. Don't touch that, please.
That's the fender.
So the grill's right here, so this is going to be getting air mostly priority. And like I said, it's solid. I'm pretty excited. Now, let's figure out how we're going to mount the water tank. Shine the light at the tank. There you go. So I'll probably do a tube off the back. A tube off the back. And what I'll do is I'll double up. You know, I'll weld the 1/8-inch piece of aluminum to here, and then another, you know, another tube off here with a threaded bung. Oh, thank you. A threaded bung here, a threaded bung in the back, and, you know, just for extra support, because it's a street car, I might go off this lower one to the bottom. Might be a little overkill, but it kind of scares me having water in front of the tire like that. I don't want to say it scares me. With all the other fluids in this car, I mean, if the radiator were to explode, guess what? It's in front of my tires. So I just want to be precautious about it and make sure it's right. It'd be cool if I can... Let's... mount the water tank down low. Maybe. That'd be interesting, huh? I don't know. But then I can't, you know, it'd be a nightmare to fill. So I think that's where it's going to go. I mean, people put fuel cells in the front end, so... All right. On to that. And once I get it all mounted, we'll report back. All right. Well, jumped ahead. And I built the tankish. Kind of. It's almost done. I need to get a cap. And I need to weld a -16 bung somewhere back here for the feed to fill this. And I got one mount there, I got one mount here, and I made these, as you can see, these slide in and out just so I don't have these big long mounts sticking out, you know, if I'm taking the car apart or something. So they're just little stubs, which I'm going to run a M5 through it and nut and bolt it. I'm going to do one on the bottom off the bar here. And it's going to go out like this, or it's going to be, you know, something to support the weight so this doesn't move around much. But that's it's almost done. But at least now I don't have any 2x4s blocking everything. I got to figure out how to plumb this. So I got to get 2 -16 hoses through here, which I'm probably going to have to come low on the subframe. I got this oil feed here, so it's gonna have to come. I'm probably gonna have to make a mount out, and I have to heat line because here's my wastegate, my exhaust, and everything. And then it's gonna have to go. You can't see anything. Well, as I was saying, it's gonna have to go low, come out back here, and then up to these and in to loop around. That's something we're gonna have to build. I gotta figure out how to plumb this. It would make my life really easy if I can come out of the pump, come straight to this, but I don't know if that's gonna cause an issue. I'm saying, I don't know if it's gonna cause an issue not filling this tank here. You know, if it's just blowing past here. While this would, it would come in and then down, you know, it would cascade down instead of trying to go up. It would make plumbing way nicer, but I just don't know if I can do it that way. I'll have to see what I would do here, fitting and hose-wise, because it's tight. But that's coming along. It's coming along. We'll be very soon ready to test that system out, and fingers crossed. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, even if I have 120, 130 degree air intake temps with just water, I'm not gonna care. On E85, it's really not gonna make that big of a difference power-wise, and 130, 140 is safe intake temp. You know, there's a lot of testing been done on E85 to where there's really not much power difference. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that I don't need ice anymore and I can still run an air to water. That'd be super sweet. So now I got to think about the plumbing, but we're going to wrap this up. I don't know if I showed you that I got the convertible in here. I started stripping off all the stuff out of it. I got the engine bay pretty much empty. You know, I still got to unbolt the sway bar. I got to finish taking out the brake lines that run to the back. I think my upper brake lines are fine in here. And I think this is a front brake line. This goes to your rear. I think I'm going to replace this side of it. And this side is all right. So we'll see if we could just clean all these up, or if I got to buy all new or make all new. I'd rather not do any. You know, I take the wiper motor out, a couple odds and other bolts. I take the heater box out, and then I could start sanding in this thing, getting this. I'm not going crazy. You know, it's pretty much a scuff and shoot, except for where, you know, there's like heavier rust forming. And then this is going to get painted, and then we can start assembling all the suspension here. I still have to start working on the floors. Yeah. I don't wanna, but you know, like I said, I haven't really found anything extra underneath. So what I see up here is what I see underneath. So it's gonna get done. It'll get done. It's not gonna be the prettiest. It's not gonna be the best. I'm not putting floor pans in this thing. I'm patching the hell out of it, and that's what we're doing. And I don't care. You know, this is under $10,000 build, start to finish. I am keeping track. Someone said to me they want to see every single penny, so I am keeping track. So right now I have a list of everything, and we are at $1,025. And obviously we got the car, we got all the body. You know, I have you know, I'm keeping that 3-point strut bar, selling this stuff to recoup some money. I already have the radiator and the fan shroud for it. Obviously, I'm going to build my intake out of this crap. I have upper and lower rear control arms. I have the rear end. I have the 4L80 with the converter. Yep, we're going to just stick a stock converter in it for now and be done. You know, I got the rear end there. I got to get bushings for. You know, got a harness, a headlight harness, 4L80, headers, water pump, gaskets, hinges, timing gear, all blah, 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 brakes, transcooler, yada, yada. And there's the motor that's going to go in it. And like I said, I want to be running, driving under 10 grand. Painted, the whole 9. Whether that's on new wheels or it's on the stock ponies, you know, we'll see. But get in your garage, grab a cold drink, get to work on a hot rod. Have a good night, guys.